In the 2020 election, President Biden got 63% of the Latino vote in America, but that was 8% lower than 4 years prior in 2016. From Virginia, the AG is Jason Miyares. His mother is from Cuba. Sir, welcome to our program, and good morning to you.
Great to be with you. Thanks so much for having me.
We saw this piece in the Wall Street Journal. Here's the headline. Latino voters once solidly Democratic, split along economic lines. Working class Latino voters in particular are moving toward Republicans. It's an interesting piece. What do you make of this trend, and does it last?
Well, we saw this last year in Virginia with Governor Youngkin and myself. We got over 50%, about 55% of the Latino vote. And what we have is there's one party right now that talks about the American dream. That's the Republican Party. There's one party right now that talks about supporting law enforcement and safe streets. That's our party. Economic empowerment. Parents matter, empowering parents that they have a fundamental right to the education of their children. Those values are all values that align with Latino voters, whereas the Democratic Party right now, it's just going woke and weird. I mean, they're using terms like Latinx. Nobody in the Latino community uses those. They're supporting a variety of policies that are totally the opposite of what you find in the Latino community that so values faith and family. And so you are seeing this trajectory right now. The Latino community is on a very similar trajectory to those old Reagan Democrats, the grandchildren of Irish and Italian immigrants. That's where the Latino community is right now, because they see which party is speaking to what their dreams and their aspirations are. Right now, it's the Republican Party. I'm so excited about the trends we're seeing and what we're going to be seeing going forward.
Okay, I just want to emphasize that last point you were making there, because that's what the piece points out clearly, that working class Latinos seem to have this drift or this draw toward the Republican Party. They went to the state of Nevada and all these communities around Las Vegas to do their research there, and that's what they discovered. So then we ask, how do they feel about President Biden? Right now, Quinnipiac put a poll number right now, approve 48%, disapprove, he's at 46%, so it's a bit of a split there. But when they were asked how motivated they are to vote in midterms, look what we found here. 46% say they are more motivated. What's driving that? Economic or more?
Well, listen, they are, because working class Americans of every background are seeing every time they go to the grocery store, every time they go to the gas pump, they're paying more. They understand intuitively that Washington has a spending problem. They're spending our nation into bankruptcy. It's creating an inflation crisis, and inflation is a regressive tax. It literally, particularly for middle class and working class Americans, it's just been devastating for them. So, you know, I know a lot of people on the coast maybe that are wealthy don't deal with a family budget, but if you grew up the way I did and you deal with that, where you have to watch what you spend every month and what happens every week, your grocery budget is a set amount of money you could spend, and the set amount of money you could spend to fill up your gas tanks, that matters. So the economic message that you have right now, the Democratic Party that is wrecking our economy, and the Republican Party, they remembered how good it was prior to the Biden administration. They see that, but also I can't emphasize enough, the Democratic Party messaging right now is so out of touch with working class Latinos of all stripes. They're seeing this, and it may be messaging that works with upper educated and wealthy liberals, but for your average individual working either at a shipyard or working a day-to-day or a minimum wage job, they're seeing this messaging, and it's totally against what they believe and what their values are. And so faith and family is so critical in the Latino community, and they see one party that emphasizes, one party that says parents matters, and another party doesn't. And you're seeing that right here in Virginia. Yesli Vega, a Latina who's in law enforcement, running for Congress in a very contested seat right now. Part of the reason why she got drawn to the GOP is our position on standing with the police and law enforcement, and that is attractive, or they want safe streets. And so I know that our message is the one that lifts the most people out of poverty, gives the most aspirational dreams for the most Americans. And the bottom line is, for a lot of Latinos, they know this is an amazing country. You have one party that runs America down and another party that talks about the American dream. That's the Republican Party, and I think that's why you're seeing such a rapid shift.
Whoever wins, whoever captures them is going to have a heck of a political slide for some time upward. Jason Miyares, thank you in Virginia.